Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the very last of our 2016 pre-camp webinars. Today, we're going to talk about check-in at 10 Mile River Scout Camps. And part of this is just going to be the how to get to where you need to be for the check-in to be simple and easy. And of course, we're going to talk about some of the things that you need to know. I started with this map just to kind of give everybody an idea of where the different routes coming in are available. This map is available on the website. So if you've never been to 10 Mile River Scout Camps or the specific camp that you're trying to find, it can be a great way to get you in. The other great thing about this map is that it has the GPS waypoints. Now, if you put 10 Mile River Scout Camps in your GPS, it will bring you to the headquarters area, which is quite okay. We're more than happy to have you visit here, but almost no one is actually looking to camp here during the summer season. On the off season, that's absolutely the opposite. A lot of our winter camping does happen here, and we greatly appreciate the signage to get people to this facility. In the bottom right-hand side, you can see where it says TMR Headquarter Entrance Road. That will get you into the headquarters area of 10 Mile River. But most of the people that are probably listening to me today are looking for our summer programs in Camp Aquahunga, Camp Kiowa, Camp Ranaqua, and we are going to spend a little bit of time talking about family camp just because there's, for somebody that's never been there before, it's a little bit of a challenge to get all the way down in. And so I hope that you're happy to learn a little bit with us today. If you've been to camp a million times, hopefully you see something a little bit new because some of the roads have moved since last year. On the left-hand side of your screen, there is a little comments page. You're able to type a message in that. We will be watching and answering live questions as we go through this process. So please do feel free to jump in with any questions as we go. I'm going to try to go fairly quickly because there's a lot of slides in this presentation. Not that it's necessarily all turn by turn, but I do want to warn you as we get started that some of these pictures are not necessarily what's going to look like exactly during summer camp because there will be more people in them during summer camp, but a lot of it's what it looks like now for some of our newer facilities. The next slide I want to talk to everybody about is the map, and I know we've kind of promoted this at a number of different places. It's on the main threefold brochure for all of the summer camp programming that we have, but I do want to thank, there again, David Malatsky, Sean Johnson, all the individuals from the museum, and the people that have helped Sean GPS the trails. This is going to be a great way once somebody's in camp to help them find their way from place to place, especially if they're a part of our trek program or they're out on the trails. The overview is just, I'm going to leave this up for a minute while I talk about it, just because there are some page numbers on here. If there's something you have a specific question about, please do take a look. What the things that you want to bring to camp check-in. Before you even get to check-in, as you're coming to camp, bring all of your scouts. The best Boy Scout program involves your whole troop coming and visiting with us. When you come up, you want to have gone into the online system. We've already done a webinar, and they are available through YouTube, through our webpage, through the webinar page of how to register people for camp, how to register for merit badges, some of those great pieces to get everyone in the online system. Please do have completed as up-to-date as possible the rosters, the merit badges, all of those pieces in the online system before coming up. If we need to make a couple of changes, if somebody wasn't able to make it or at the last minute we added on 6 people, those are great. And we will have people in each of the camps there to help you add those people into the online system. But we want it to be as up-to-date as possible. If you're coming up and you've not put anyone in, then it's going to take a lot longer during that check-in process. We'll have somebody there to help sit you down. You'll sit at a computer and we'll go through that process, but it's going to slow that process down, and we don't want to slow you down at all through this check-in process. Medical forms. There's information in the Leader's Guide on pages 12 through 14 for 10 Mile River for medical forms. It is the current BSA National Medical Form, unless somebody's in addition to that form, if somebody's staying 2 weeks, there's a meningitis form that you just need to sign with a little bit of information. That is available in the Leader's Guide. There's a list of all the personal gear that your scouts should bring. There's a recommended list, and there's a really, really needed list. And then there's some troop gear on the page 34 as to things that your whole troop would want to bring. If you're looking for more information about the check-in process or what it's going to look like on Sunday when you come up, for Camp Aquahunga and Camp Kiowa, there's a lot of great general information in pages 28, 29 of the Leader's Guide. If you're looking at Camp Ranaqua, the leadership down there did a lot of step by step. This is what it's going to look like when you come in on Sunday. And so in addition to 28, 29 in the general section, if you look at the Ranachqua section of the Leader's Guide, 177 to 179, it's going to really spell that out for you. If you've got new leaders coming in, that's going to be really important. For family camp, if you've got a group that's coming up, if the scouts are going down to one of the other camps and there's a family coming into family camp, the check-in process is on page 208 for that specifically. We're going to do a quick plug. The wildlife safety training will be up here this weekend. It's the third in the series. The first was at the training expo. The second was at the camping expo. And now we're going to be right here. Hopefully we're going to have a number of staff, but we're still opening it up to anyone who wants to join us. We do have a lot going on this weekend. We've got the OA coming in from Friday until Sunday. We've got the Hammer and Saw group coming in Saturday to get everything ready so that everybody's happy when they get to camp. And then this training and a couple of other side meetings. So we hope to see you soon here at 10 Mile River. Jumping on to the next piece, there's some scary pictures. I just wanted to make sure everybody had a good shot of what their leadership was going to look like. On the left, we have Mike Lennon, the camp director down at Camp Ranachqua. In the center, we have John Farrell, the camp director at Camp Aquahonga, and myself on the right, camp director up at Kiowa. So let's talk about getting to Camp Aquahonga. Now, from the first map that we showed, it'll give you the route number. This is more the, okay, how do I find it once I'm here? Because 10 Mile River is a very large place. So as you're driving by on either side, you can see the Camp Aquahonga sign in the summertime. It looks a little different on the year-round, and anybody that's been up here, this is a summer sign, and our year-round sign disappeared. So when you come up in the summer, look for this specifically. As you come up the hill, past the Barda House, top off and start down into camp, the next thing you're going to see is a gray "Welcome to Camp Aquahonga" sign. We want to make sure that people are confident all the way into camp on where they're going. And so there are a number of different signs. And then when you get to an intersection that looks like this, on the right-hand side under the tree, you can kind of see a picnic table upside down. There will be that picnic table. There will be a little white garage canopy and a number of staff members right here to greet you. And this is where it's going to look very different when you're coming in on Sunday, but the road here will stay the same. They will help you with your site guide at this point. They will help you get out to your site, and then we're going to follow from there. If you are in one of the campsites that is past the administration building, then you're going to follow the new road as we come up through. And so as you come down, back up again, you're starting to see the services building. If you see the road to the left, that did not exist last year. This is the new way to get into the rest of camp. There will be a sign blocking off the right-hand side just outside of the frame of this picture that kind of tells what the uses of that road are. That is primarily just access for food service in and out of the commissary building as a part of the new Johnson Center, and a couple of people that are moving large things like garbage trucks. But for our leaders that are coming in, we're going to make the left at this juncture. You're going to come across, and here is the new road. You can see on the left-hand side, there's the pool building, bathhouse. On the right-hand side, you can see some rocks that are kind of the barrier between the road and the new parade field. And you're going to loop to the right a little bit up by the office. From this picture, the office would be on your left. The Johnson Center would be to your right. And kind of where the bell is temporarily at, you're going to make the left to see this piece to get down into the parking lot. And so that is the directional piece. I see we had a question come in. The question, and I must have missed this one from before, was about the medical form, about what pieces you need. As you are going to be a part of resident camp, you need everything that is in the basic current BSA medical form. You don't need the addendums for anything unless you're going to a specialty camp. The meningitis form, there again, you need if you're going to be in camp for more than 1 week. A number of our Aquahonga units, as long as we're talking about Aquahonga, have the tradition of coming for multiple weeks, and they just need to add on that form. So this is the road that'll take you down to the parking lot, but this next picture is from basically the road by the shower house, looking up at the Johnson Center. You can see right now that there's some hay down. The grass is seeded. It's actually a little bit rainy up here at 10 Mile River today, so we're hoping that that's going to help that whole process of having a beautiful, lush green lawn here in front of the Johnson Center to use as our parade field. And there may be a few more additions between now and camp, but the Johnson Center is the place where you want to be Once you've gotten out to your unit, you've gotten settled, and you want to come in and do your paperwork, this is where you're going to come. The white doors right in the front, set of double doors into the main area, will get you into the Scoutmaster's Lounge. It'll get you in to see the office manager. That's where you're going to check in and do the administrative side of the paperwork to make sure that we're ready to go. So that really is the important parts to get into Camp Aquehonga. Here again, you've got Bill Scanlon, John Farrell in the center, and Anthony Zalak that are going to be there to greet you as you're coming in on any given Sunday. If you're coming to Camp Kiowa, we've got a little different process. There again, if you look at the main map, it'll give you the GPS coordinates. The thing to look for if you're coming into Camp Kiowa is the sign, and there's a number of these signs, so you've got to be real specific. You're looking for the sign in the bottom left-hand corner that says Kiowa with a right arrow. If you're coming from the other way, it's Kiowa with a left arrow. But this is going to get you into the main area of Camp Kiowa. As you come in on the road, you're going to see a gray sign that says, "Welcome to Camp Kiowa." Much like the one for Camp Aquehonga, we want to make sure that there are a lot of people, if they've never been to camp before, that once they start driving down a dirt road, get really worried, am I in the right place? So we want to use this tool as well as reinforcements within our units to make sure that everybody, okay, this is where you're going. We want you to feel comfortable. We want you to know where everything is as we come in. When you get to this section, and this is two pictures, on the left-hand side, it's kind of a picture down across the parking lot. That is to the left of the administration building, the building being really the focal point as you're coming in for check-in. Now, as soon as you get to this corner where you can see the parking lot, that's where there will be a staff member to greet you. They'll help you get the cars parked. They'll help you with where you want to go to the next step of check-in, which is right here in this administration building. So as you're coming into camp, it is right here to make that process easy. As you walk in front of the building or up the side ramp, this is kind of the front view of the building. There's a great map of all of the different areas within Camp Kiowa. But on the left of this, you can see where it says 10 Mile River Scout Camps Kiowa. That's the door that you want to be coming in. And it does say Kiowa main office, if you can read that on my little bit of a blurry picture. But that center green door right under the yellow, the dark and yellow sign is where you want to come in to do the check-in process. This is where you're going to meet your site guides. This is where we'll do the paperwork. On the right-hand side, you can see the Scoutmaster's Lounge. That's where our Scoutmasters throughout the rest of the week are going to have their Scoutmasters meetings. That's where Sunday evening's meeting will be. But as far as the rest of the check-in process, this is where you want to be from here. The site guides will take you out to everywhere that you need to be as a part of that Sunday process. Once you get in, you'll see someone sitting at the desk where right now Carlos is talking on the phone. On the left-hand side is Jason Taldano. He is our program director for the summer. And on the right, you've got a picture of myself. Looks like I'm eating. So there's always something fun going on in camp. If you're going to Ranaqua, there's a few more turns involved in this process. And as I said, Mike did a great job as the camp director for Ranaqua, putting in the leader's guide a really good step-by-step process of how to get in and how that's all going to work. This is going to get you to Camp Ranaqua to follow that process. So here again, you see the sign. This one does not say Kiowa to the left. This one has Family Camp and Ranaqua in to the left if you're coming in from this side. If you're coming down the road on the other side, you'll see another sign that says Family Camp, Camp Ranaqua to the right. So you can kind of see that turn. That is the first part of getting down and in if you're heading toward Camp Ranaqua. As you follow this road up, down, and around, you will come to a signpost. There's a lot of different possibilities from this signpost, but you do want to slow down and start to veer to the left at this point. And when you get close enough, you'll see that it's pointing for both Ranaqua and Family Camp down to the left-hand side. So we're going to make that left, come on down until we see the main gateway to get into Camp Ranaqua. They have the beautiful gateway. You're going to follow that down through. You're going to see another sign that says Camp Ranaqua. There are a series of miles as you're coming into this. And so we want to make sure that everybody's very comfortable with the process of getting into camp. Once you get to the parking lot, once you're inside of Camp Ranaqua, here's where there will be a number of site guides, much like our other camps, that are going to help you get parked, get to where you need to go for that next process. Ranaqua is doing their medical checks just a little bit differently. They're trying to make it faster. They're trying to not have as much of a line. And so they're going to try to come to you as much as they can. Here's kind of a map of what's going on down at Ranaqua. On the right-hand side, we have Mike Lennon. And on the left-hand side, you have Brian Worsby, two of the people that you're going to see as a part of the check-in process and as a part of the camp program overall. Once you are there, checked in, and you've gone through all the steps with your site guide, don't forget to stop and see Mike back in the program office or the main office. This is the outside entrance. You can come through the dining hall. It's a part of that building, just to make sure that everybody has done all of the paperwork. Everybody has made sure that we know who's in camp, who's not in camp, gotten our wristbands. That's all a part of that check-in process that really does rely on your site guide when you get into whichever of the camps that you're trying to get to. I wanted to hit family camp a little more specifically in this session because our last few have been very Boy Scout program oriented, just to make sure that everybody understands what family camp is. Many years ago, when the boys came up for multiple weeks, some of the families wanted to come up and stay. And so we built what we call our family camp that provides some cabin camping options for those individuals. You're going to follow some of the same directions that we just did to take to Ranaqua. So you're going to see this sign coming in. You're going to follow the road up through. You're going to see the same signpost, and you're going to make the left, follow down as if you were going to Ranaqua until you see this sign before you get to the Ranaqua Gateway. And there's going to be a family camp to the right side. It's going to tell you how to get to Ranaqua and the ship cabins. You're, of course, going to want to make the right down the road that has a sign that says family camp. Now, you're going to be on this road for a little while, and we are going to try to do a little better job of marking some of the turns as we come through. But I just want to walk everyone through the process of getting to family camp as a part of our program. So you're going to follow the road down here where you see the family camp sign. As you follow this road on the left, you're going to see those that know of the name of this is the Circle of 10 area. But as you come down, you're going to see a building and you're going to see kind of a left lean off. If you're going to those cabins, that's a great place to turn. If you're trying to check in, or especially if you're not 100% sure where you're going, you want to stay straight at this point and go right on down this section of road. It'll come to a little clearing. It almost looks like a T. But for you coming to family camp, as you've gone by the clearing, there's a tree, there's a circus tent on the left-hand side at this point. You're going to want to make that left. And it's kind of a hard turn to see. So we got a couple of pictures as you come up. You can see the picnic tables over by the circus tent. This left is going to bring you down into camp. So as you made that left, you're following the road down in, there's going to be another split. The left, all of this is family camp. The left is going to take you up to the waterfront. But if this is check-in day and you're trying to get to the right place, you don't want that left, you want the right. So like I said, we're going to try to do a little better with signage to make sure that everybody knows that they're coming down and to the right. And then once you've gone down and across, you get to look up to the left. There's a waterfall. But once you come up this piece, now you're going to make another left up and into the main area. Once you've gotten into this section of family camp itself, there's a little sign right in the middle that kind of points to some of the cabins. But I wanted to stand back a little bit. Up to the right, and then the first cabin directly in front of you is the trading post for that area. The building looks a little bit different. There's a couple of big garage canopies out there that are lighted. That is where you want to go to check in, especially if it's the first time you've come into this process. And then I just wanted to give everybody a nice little picture. I talked about those family cabins. They're rustic family cabins. They do have running water. They do have electricity, but they're definitely not air conditioned. There's an option that you can open up some doors and get a lot of ventilation. Very nice outdoor space. Most of them have a very easily accessible picnic table. The whole idea here is to come out and enjoy the wilderness for your family for a little while. Before I jump to the next picture, I did get a question that was about specialty camp. My son is coming for a specialty week. How does his check-in differ? If that specialty camp is listed in Camp Kiowa and on the 3-year-old brochure or on the website, it really should list specifically where that specialty camp is located. Most of those are going to be in the specialty site in Camp Kiowa. And so when you flip back in the video, the how to get to Camp Kiowa, you're going to check in the exact same way. And then our site guide is going to run you to that site for the specialty program. If you are going to STEM camp at Ranaqua, then you're going to follow the directions to get into Ranaqua. If your group is coming in for a trek and it's your troop is going to Kiowa, but you've got a trek group, come into Kiowa. We'll do the check-in. We'll make sure that everything is all set. And then we'll get you down to Aquehonga with the trek group to do that shakedown with the staff down there. If you're coming into Aquehonga, then you're all set. If you're coming to Ranaqua and you've got a trek group, same thing. You're going to come in, you're going to check in at Ranaqua, and then the trek group is going to go down, and we're going to work from there. This weekend, actually tomorrow morning around 10 a.m., and I should have changed this on the slide, and I didn't. My apologies. We had the wildlife safety and awareness training. This says May 14th at the headquarters area. We've actually, because of all the activities that are happening up in Kiowa, we've moved. We're going to run that at the ecology building at Camp Kiowa, so that people don't have to move all the way down to headquarters to come on back up for the other activities. So we would encourage at least one adult and youth leader, anybody that's on our camp staffs, or anybody that's going to be doing a trek or a camping trip that's really in the backcountry to come. We're going to talk a lot about the bear program, but we're also going to talk about other animals and how we want to make sure that we're keeping them safe and keeping ourselves safe through, as much as possible, making sure that there are no attractants that are going to bring them in. And then when we get to that point, the deterrents that we can use to make sure that we and they are safe. The question just came in on the side. Is it a required training? In 2016, it is highly encouraged, strongly recommended. It is not required. The discussion has been, and the camping committee likes the idea of requiring this training in 2017, just to make sure that especially our new units or our new leaders, because a lot of our leaders have come year after year, but there's someone new that may not know this information, that they understand exactly what it is that may attract a bear. The fact that toothpaste as a smellable may not be considered food by you, but it may very much be considered food by any number of small animals. So if you do, the question is in 2017, if I came this year, will it count? Yes, this is we want everybody to be a part of this training, but it is not a youth protection training that expires every 2 years. If there's a major change in the way that bears react to people, then we may do some updates, but we've done this whole process in partnership with the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. And much of what they have told us is information that we've used in various forms over the years. We're just trying to make sure that it's streamlined and that people understand with the newer things that are coming to camp, exactly how to use them, or those people that understand that bear spray is something that they need if they're in an outdoor wilderness area, but don't understand when it is appropriate to use that. Will there be an overview of the material during check-in? If we're talking, we will have, as a part of the leaders meeting on Sunday night, information about wildlife safety. I guess I'm not sure if there's other questions for the bears. Yes. Yes, every Sunday we will have an overview. We will always have that reminder, and we have over the years always said something about making sure that our campsites don't have food randomly available throughout that process. So if there's any other questions, please do let me know. But that will be this Saturday, the 14th at 10 a.m. in the Ecology Building up in Camp Kiowa. And as always, 2016, we're looking forward to a great year. But of course, 2017 is our 90th anniversary. There is a 90th anniversary logo contest going on right now. If you want to jump on the website and get some more information about that, I would encourage you to. We're posting information on the 10 Mile River and the Greater New York Council's Facebook pages. So there's all kinds of great ways to pick up additional information on that. I've kept you a little longer than I intended to today, but I hope that it was all helpful. If you have any other questions, please do contact me. As Director of 10 Mile River, my email address is ryan.ross@scouting.org. And the phone number here at camp when I'm sitting at the desk is 845-252-2085. And that will get transferred up to Kiowa when I'm up there during the summer program. So thank you so much. If anybody has any other questions, I will hang out for another minute, and then we will close up for the day. We hope that you will join us during the webinar series that we're going to provide for 2017's 90th anniversary. That'll start sometime this fall. But as for the getting ready to come to camp and the actually physically coming to camp, that'll be great. There was another question that just came in, and this was about merit badge sign up. If somebody needs to change merit badges, if we need to add a new young man that's coming to camp, we can make some of those additions during that process. But we're encouraging all of our units. The merit badge online sign up is live at this point. The earlier you go in and make your selections, the more selection options there will be. There is a waitlist option. So if somebody's really excited about a merit badge and it's already filled up for the sessions that are provided, we can review and see if it's possible to add another merit badge session. So the more of that we get prior to people walking in at camp, the better we can accommodate them. For the units that do walk in at camp that may not have selected any merit badges yet, we will happily help you to do the selection out of the remaining merit badges. But I can't promise if you've got a whole unit that's not registered for merit badges that I'm going to be able to set up another session if you've just walked in on Sunday. So the earlier that we can get that information, the happier everyone is. Thank you for joining us today. If you have any other questions, please email or call. We look forward to seeing you at camp.